Fairview's coffee has mysteriously gone missing. Mayhem ensues when strange, coffee-craving zombies plague the city. Detective Mickey Potatoes, an overworked public servant, uncovers why ordinary citizens are losing their minds and how to stop the coffee apocalypse. But it involves the mafia. And when you're dealing with mafia crime families, nothing is ever easy. The mafia controls everything in the city, including the police, including him. If he breaks the mafia, they will break him. So, the city is without coffee. The city is burning before his very eyes, but he's powerless. Detective Potatoes has the power to stop the coffee apocalypse, but if he does, he could lose everything.
First world, come in and take a seat. Pay us no attention, it's all conspiracy. We have satire and parody, some funny, some perverse. If none of it's offensive to you, you'd be the first.
And now for something completely different.
And here we go.
Honeycomb's big. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not small. No, no, no.
Kiss my entire ass.
Oh, my darling, not 3 times on the ceiling if you want me.
I'm gonna get a cappuccino soon. I'm gonna strangle somebody.
You know, this is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee.
Damn good coffee. And hot.
Listen to me very carefully, because I'm only going to say this once. Coffee. Black.
This town needs an enema.
Don't just sit right down. Relax. Open your ears real wide and say, give it to me straight, doctor. I can take it.
Get the chocks out from under the wheels. Flaps up. No offense, Margaret. Contact. We're off. Rum, rum.
Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.
The doctor is in, baby. Oh, man, new day, new time, same great show. We went a little hard for you today. We got some good content coming up. We're going to have a conversation with Earth's Best Entertainment's own Michael Gotthi. But before we do that, I got to bring out the man with a plan, the man with the sex appeal, the legendary
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Gordon Shumway, nice to meet you. Interested in a new Buick?
Nonsense. I've not yet begun to defile myself.
I'll make you famous.
I'll make you famous.
Good afternoon, Tanner.
Good afternoon, my brother. How are you?
I'm great, man. New bat time, new bat channel. Well, the same bat channel. I don't know what I'm saying. I have no idea what I was going for there. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great.
Let's check in with the chat. Let's see. We got Faz hanging out. Faz, welcome. Good
Faz,
to see
hey.
you as always.
Dawn, how are you?
Dawn is here. Max, one of my
Max,
favorite people in the world.
the
Always
man,
great
the myth,
to have
the
you
legend.
here. The man, the myth, the legend. He is indeed. So why, you ask, Doc, why would you move your show from Saturday mornings? Well, because I wanted to. Saturday mornings, I have discovered, Tanner, while I have a campaign live, frequently I am streaming late on a Friday. I am not a night owl. So if I stay up late streaming on a Friday, I'm dead Saturday.
Oh, man.
And not only that, but we're both family guys.
Mm-hmm.
You've got stuff happening on the weekends with kids. I've got stuff happening with grandkids and kids and whatever. So, you know, it just makes more sense. Middle of the week, there's nobody home. It's 1 o'clock. So I have a place to myself. I can be loud.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've had time to put 3 pots of coffee down my neck. I'm more awake now.
I hear you.
We got to see what this does to our audience, though. You know, they might be still asleep. Who knows?
Still asleep? That's crazy talk.
That's crazy talk. Who does that? My friend, that's one of the teachers and co-owner of the art school that I teach at. She's like me. She's an early bird, and she's a beautiful single lady. You know, so she's dating this guy, and they didn't shack up overnight, but she crashed in his guest room because they stayed up late watching movies over at his place or whatever. She calls me from over there at 7 o'clock in the morning. And she goes, I'm stranded over here and this effort is still sleeping. Who does that? Who sleeps this late at 7? So I said, well, I mean, you know, what do you want me to do? She goes, I don't know. Stay on the phone with me. Because she's creeped out by somebody sleeping and she's in their house, you know, and she's stranded. She's like, I should have been stranded in the first place. Should have took your own car. But anyway, like 30 minutes of the conversation, she goes, can you come get me? I'm like, yeah, I'll come. The dude DMs her later on and goes, hey, I woke up and you were gone. It was 11 o'clock.
Oh, geez.
And she said, yeah, this is not going to work out between us. Period. Just because you sleep that late. This ain't going to work. 1900 over there. All right. All right. So, yeah, it's a good time. 1900 is a fine time.
Yes, it is.
We have some segments we do here on the show. But before we get to an extended meme review, I want to do a couple of things here. One, I've got a campaign that's live right now, Pariah Blood and Mud, and I am shadow banned on Indiegogo.
Still.
Which means the only time I get backers is when I'm live and I'm dropping links. So I'm going to drop the link to Pariah, but I'm going to play this here little commercial I've got for my book and sprint to the kitchen and warm up my coffee. So we'll be right back. Revenge, the sweetest morsel to the mouth that ever was cooked in hell.
Very
Say,
nice.
that's a spiffy looking book.
Hell yeah, it is.
I think somebody out there needs to go back it. Of course, I got to drop the link for that to happen. And by the way, I lied. I don't like to lie. You know, I said I was going to sprint. I don't sprint anywhere. I walked quickly. Okay. I didn't sprint for my refill. Just saying. I'm old. I'm fat. I'm not going to sprint. It's not going to happen. I did my sprinting when I was young.
Right. Hey, you've earned it.
I don't know about all that, but I've certainly, you know, when you're young, you're smoking, you're drinking coffee, you're chilling, you know you should be in the gym, you know you should be jogging, you know you should be healthy, but you think to yourself, yeah, but I'm really enjoying this cigarette and my coffee and sitting here on my butt doing nothing. I like it. And that voice in your head goes, you'll have to pay for this one day. Now, where a hypocrite goes wrong is they would be complaining, but not me. I'm not a hypocrite. I say, I wrote this check. Now I'm cashing it. So I do the best I can with what I got, is what I'm saying, Tanner.
Damn Skippy. Gary, Fanta,
Hello,
how's it going?
Fanta. Hello, Doc and the Cheshire Cat. He's Mr. Sex Appeal himself. Fanta, always a pleasure. Oh, she's throwing some love for the Tanner. So I'm not the only one, by the way, that has a campaign live. So let's get this out of the way. Let's take a good look. Tanner, anything you want to tell us about Electric before we play the trailer?
Oh man, Electric is the follow-up to Ren. She's the agent of Helix, as I mentioned in the title, and it's basically a zany yarn about a energy succubus and her exploits throughout the galaxy. You know?
Right on. What more do you need to know? Let's take a look at Electric. Say, that's a spiffy looking book.
Thank you.
So who's the art team on this? Who's the writer? Who's the artist?
I'm the writer. I write on it. I also contribute some because it's an anthology book, so
Okay.
I break it up. And the idea was to have Electric, or you would have Electric, and then you have Ren, and they're both anthology books, and the short stories in there introduce one of the villains that make up the Rogues Gallery. So when they come together, and then the stories intersect, there's one story in each one that is going to tie in to their book Double Helix, where both of them are together and they get paired up as a deadly duo.
That's awesome. Hey, by the way, for those of you that ever have coffee mugs as a promotional item, the majority of the world is right-handed. Don't put your logo left-handed.
Or you put it on both sides.
Or
like,
put it on both.
Yeah.
Make it ambidextrous, damn it.
Ambidextrous, yeah.
Ambidextrous. Oh, my goodness. Let me see. Bold Cat, Stephen B. is hanging out.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Where's the link for that spiffy-looking book? Drop your link in the chat there, Tanner.
Okay.
And if someone would be good enough to drop the Indiegogo link for Pariah, I'd appreciate it. I can do it, but I don't feel like leaving my control right now because we're about to get into a segment here. But before we do, I got to comment on this. It's all over the media right now. We've indicted President Trump. Oh, all right. Here's a news flash for you. First of all, I've looked at this indictment. You can indict a ham sandwich, by the way. It doesn't mean anything. But I have never seen anyone anywhere so determined to accomplish something in my life as I have watching the left try to erase Donald Trump. And the mistake they've made is they have galvanized his base. They're looking at probably the biggest landslide victory for a Republican since Ronald Reagan. Now, I would not choose Donald Trump as my candidate. I want Ron DeSantis. All right, I make no mistake and no secret of the fact that I'm conservative. But I don't like how bombastic Trump is. When he talks, I cringe, but he did a good job. All right, so he will do a great job, no doubt. But goodness gracious, people, you've got to get a handle on the idea you can't persecute your political opponents using your legal system. That's something they do in banana republics. Oh, nobody's above the law. Yeah, they are. Hillary Clinton was above the law. Bill Clinton was above the law. Barack Obama was above the law. Nancy Pelosi's above the law. What I'm saying is be political, but be objective in your politics. At least let them make some kind of sense. So, thank you, Stephen B. I appreciate that. Fanta dropping it also. Yes, they are trumped up charges.
Trumped up charges.
Did there, Max? Yeah, they're 34 counts of the same misdemeanor, which were already statute of limitations over and already been dismissed by the original DA. This guy up in New York is just trying to make a political name for himself. At least be honest when you attack people. Absolutely, it's okay to post Boob Dan's campaign as he battles cancer, his book is selling his family. Right? Yes, Dan Flegel, Goblin Girl, he's a great guy. He's gone public with the fact that he has cancer and he's fighting that right now. So yeah, let's remember him in our prayers and back him if you can. Absolutely. All right, Tanner.
Yes. Give me a second here.
I see by the clock on the wall. It's that time. Yes, meme review time.
Yeah,
I'll start us off here because originally I told Tanner when we were doing show prep, I said, "Listen, I'll do one, you do one, we'll take turns." But you don't have to do that. Yes, you can absolutely back Human Hunters. I've got a trailer for that. We'll play it at the break. But let's take a look at some of our wonderful memes for today. Bam! When your dark humor accidentally slips in front of new people. Was it me?
Well,
the guy who played Gomez in the original TV show could not be surpassed by anybody anywhere. But Christopher Lloyd absolutely killed it as Fester.
Yes, he did.
I'm just saying. It's a great remake. Here we go. Tanner.
Governor Gavin Newsom declares that California is the freedom state right after he locked down California citizens for 2 years over COVID.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
The state where the only people that can live there are billionaires and homeless people. Everybody else, 500,000 people have left California in the last year and a half. Fact check me on that. True story. A Liberal's Guide to Labeling. I mean, kind of speaks for itself. You got a Native American, an African American, an oppressed person. Joe Biden is competent. George Floyd is a hero. Bill Gates is a scientist. Greta is an expert. Burning down cities was mostly peaceful. And of course, Bruce Jenner's a female. Because they're good at identification.
Look at me. I'm the Little Mermaid now.
Which, that leads to the hard, cold truth of Netflix presents Polar Bears, a documentary. I don't know what the obsession is with race swapping and gender swapping. If we made a movie about Shaka Zulu and put Nicolas Cage in the starring role as Shaka Zulu, people would lose their minds. Okay, it's cultural appropriation if a white kid wears dreadlocks. But you race swap and gender swap everybody else. So they go, well, why would it even matter to you? Well, if it didn't matter, why did you do it?
Don't try to understand women. Women understand women, and they hate each other. There's a lot of truth behind that, actually.
Oh, my goodness. When Gavin Newsom claims that Florida's not a free state, that face you make. I meant to put this one right under the Gavin Newsom one. But, you got to kind of spread the politics out a little bit, is what I'm saying. Oh, here you go, Tanner, just for you.
These people vote. That's why. Yikes. Yikes.
Could you imagine being so brainwashed that you go to the beach and wear a mask? Now, I'm not saying, by the way, boys and girls, that there wasn't absolute fear when COVID first hit. There was. I was worried. I lost friends to COVID. I lost coworkers to COVID. But having said that, my first training was, the reason I'm called Doc is I was an independent duty corpsman in the Navy. And I know what enteric precautions are. Don't lick doorknobs and wash your hands. You don't have to wear a mask when you go to the ocean. Jeez. What does the chat say? Dawn says, that was me. I own it. Let's see. Carrie says, after Ben Shapiro showed that Biden does a good Pennywise impression, that should have been made into. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're running out of Chicago and Illinois just as fast. New York, same thing. Dawn says, no, we don't understand each other. Yeah, don't be licking toilets. That's true. Remember, that was going around. Kids drinking out of toilets, eating Tide Pods.
Same time.
Sucking condoms through their nose. No, Tree Goblin, we're not going to rain down the nuclear holocaust just yet. We'll wait till after the show for that.
We're going to wait. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Here you go, Tanner. Another reason why.
Democrats, the truth.
Reasons why I'm not a liberal. I've read about economics and logic. I think Pop's loaded some up backstage for us here. We'll pull those up in just a second. Let's see what Pop's loaded up for us here. Oh my God. Oh, that is a deep dive meme. And then some memes just write themselves. There you go. There you go. Oh my goodness. This has been another episode of Yes, indeed. Another heartwarming installment. Let's see. Phantom was never scared ever. I don't blame you one little bit. Now, listen, I got COVID and so did my wife. But here's the difference. She was fully vaxxed because her work required her to. I work for me. My employer did not require me to. We both got COVID at the exact same time. Actually, I think she brought it home to me, which is understandable. But we had the same severity, the same duration, got over at the same time, same symptoms.
Same thing with me and my wife. And it was mandatory for me because I was still in the service. So
yeah.
I had to get all my shots, boosters and all.
Now, don't despair, boys and girls. We are going to get around to Tanner Hurley's great moments in comics history. But we've kept our guest waiting long enough.
I'm going to throw my quick 2 cents in. When my son and his wife went to get tested to go on their honeymoon, and one of them was positive and the other one wasn't, but they swapped spit all the freaking time, I knew there was some bullshit going on here, okay? And I pretty much just ignored it after that.
It's not what the virus was or was not. It is the way that the governments, particularly in Western culture, reacted to it.
Yeah.
Well, I was just like, either the tests were inaccurate, right? Or the tests were giving it to you because one of them had it, one of them didn't. Okay, so either one of them got it from the test right then and hadn't had a chance to give it to the other one yet, or the tests were defective and only worked on one of them. Or, you know what I mean? It was like right away. I was like, man, this is some hanky shit.
We took the test. My son comes out of nowhere and he's like, "Did you turn off the government function?" We laughed so hard. It was like, oh yeah, it'll be positive otherwise.
It's like, to me, it seemed like they were creating hotspots with all the testing.
The tests don't really create anything.
It does, because the more people that go get tested, the more people they can say have it. And they were doing these big tests about go get tested.
The test doesn't cause anything, is what I'm saying. All right, we're going to bring out our guest now.
And now for something completely different.
Hello.
Welcome, Michael Ghotti.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Doc. I appreciate it.
Oh, man, I'm glad.
I've seen so much of this dude the last 3-4 days. I'm going
We're trying to get my man. We're trying to get my man some exposure here.
I'm just messing.
I'm not usually up at this time. Well, actually, that's not true. I'm usually picking up my kids at this time, but I'm having them take the bus today. So.
Oh, well, then I feel even more guilty about leaving you.
No. It's
Michael,
important for me to get up on the stream and get a book to pimp out.
Yeah, tell people who you are and why they should care.
Okay. Well, my name's Michael Ghotti of Earth's Best Entertainment. My book is Earth's Best Friends, the superhero anthology about various superheroes that get together and eventually save the world from evil. I don't know, care is a subjective thing, I guess, but it's an all ages book. So it's very colorful. It's pretty exciting. If you got kids, it's something you definitely want to pick up. And even if you don't have kids, if you're a millennial or even young Gen X, you'd probably enjoy it too, because it's got a lot of Saturday morning cartoon influences to it and stuff like that.
Yeah, I watched, and we're going to bring your campaign up here in a little bit and look at it. So this is not a high pressure shield. This is a chill shield. So this is the way it works, though. I want people to know you. Okay. I already know your product's good. I looked at it. We're going to take a look at it here in just a minute. But how long have you been in this chaos of making comics? And why in the world would any sane person get into this?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, it kind of started for me in 2017 with a little weird project called Untitled History of the Human Condition. Really pretentious title. That was the word I was trying to think of yesterday when I was on Laurie's show. I couldn't think of the word.
I was backstage shouting it to you.
I can't think of the word, but yeah, pretentious is the word I was trying to think of. If you saw me on Laurie's show yesterday, struggling to think of words. And I was in college, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna do for writing what Pablo Picasso did for art. I've got this like cool idea of like this hyper aware book that has like this flavor text that like interrupts you reading. So it's like you're reading, and then like in parentheses, it's like, haha, that was a funny statement or something like that. I basically just made fun of myself while writing, it was weird.
Right.
So
now where did you?
2017 was when I jumped into comics. It was suggested to me that, hey, you should make this a comic book because the novel doesn't seem like it really works as a novel. And so I looked around and kind of got involved with the comics community a little bit on Facebook, at least. And I met an artist, Tyler Carpenter. Some people are familiar with him, others not. He was in the beginning of his in the indies community back then too.
Right.
And he came up with this idea. He was like, hey, I have this idea for like a weird format for a comic book where like say I draw just like one picture, but then we have like half a page of text or something. So it's like a hybrid between a book, a novel, and a graphic novel, right? And I was like, my book would probably fit that format pretty well because it's weird and it has this flavor text that needs to stay in it. And so we got together and I paid him for 6 books, I think. We got 6 books done.
Nice.
And it was an interesting project, but it was the problem with it was I had no idea how to market it. And not that I know how to market things now, but I've learned a little bit, I like to think. But I had no idea who my demographics was. And that's the real problem when you're doing anything, not just comics, but anything. You have to know who you're selling to. And, and I had no idea because it was like, well, this is kind of an R-rated book, but it's not at the same time. And it's like, I guess you'd have to have a pretty weird, pretty random sense of humor. And it's like, I don't know who this is for. I guess it's just for me. At the end of the line, I was the only one laughing at it, So
let me ask you. Let me back up. You said you came at this while you were in college. What were you going to college for? Where'd you go to school?
So I was well, it was just one semester. I ended up having to drop out for life happening. But I was going to school for elementary education. I wanted to be a teacher, and
God help you.
Whew.
And I mean, that was right before all this weirdness was going on. So I don't know if I would have made it as a teacher because I would definitely be speaking out against things and probably getting myself fired and blacklisted. So
even under ideal circumstances, being an educator in the public school system is a nightmare. My dad was a principal, a coach, a superintendent. Mom was a teacher, and life was hell. I couldn't imagine trying to.
They're under a lot of pressure these days, and
to be in your right mind and be a teacher nowadays.
It's crazy. And now things have just spiraled out of control. And granted, it's not every teacher doing these weird things that's going on, but it's a lot of them, unfortunately, and it's more and more as the years go on. It seems. Anyway. That was Southern New Hampshire University. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Where?
No, so Southern New Hampshire University. That was where I spent that semester. Then I went to community college before that, of course. So I'm educated, but no degree is kind of where I'm at.
Well, so what? If you got the skills, who cares about the paper? Here's the thing, though. Tanner and I were talking backstage, and this is such a strange phenomenon. But you are a Christian.
Yep.
I am a Christian. Tanner is a Christian.
Got my John
and we are not just Christians.
Banner on right now, 14:6. There it is.
Yeah, we are professing Christians. Now, we find ourselves in the unique position of, in modern society here in the West, if you worship a turnip or the spaghetti monster, we're supposed to venerate that and be okay with it. But if you're a Christian, shut up.
Yep.
Don't hold to those views. Don't do this, that, and the other. And I'm not doing a stream to preach to anybody. That's not the purpose of this. You want to talk about faith with me? Get in touch with me. I'll share my faith with you all day long.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you why I'm a Christian, and not because I'm gullible. I'm a fairly intelligent human being here.
Yeah.
So I can have that conversation with anybody, but it is difficult to be a straight white male Christian in society today.
It's very true.
We are the only classification of people that is socially correct to attack.
Yep. Absolutely.
It happened. I was canceled from the fine art movement that I started.
Yeah.
Because of my beliefs and because of my integrity.
Wow.
So I get it. But where I'm at with this, and Tanner and I were talking about this, and I was going to throw this question at you, Michael.
Yeah.
Here I am with a book about a witch with big boobs running around killing people. Tanner's got an R-rated book out there with half-naked, voluptuous women flopping around. And people will say, and you call yourself a Christian.
Right.
Yeah. I did. And you shared that your first project was maybe a little R-rated.
And mine was weird. I mean, it didn't have any like graphic and stuff in it or anything, but it was definitely, it definitely had content that wasn't like safe for work for sure.
Yeah.
Right. But you decided with your current work, Earth's Best Friends.
Yeah.
Is that correct? To go with a very family-friendly approach.
Yeah.
So tell folks about not the campaign, but what led you to make the decision to do that?
Yeah. So I've always had these ideas that eventually became Earth's Best Friends. One of the titles within Earth's Best Friends is called Hyper Feline Ninja Heroes. And that started off based off a dream I had in 3rd grade. Originally, I called it Siamese Ninja Heroes. Okay. I swear, I watched this anime that was on WB for 5 seconds. It was, I swear it was only one episode that was ever on TV called Samurai Pizza Cats.
Okay.
I remember that.
I watched that. I went to sleep that night and I had a dream that I was one of them is essentially, I'm pretty sure what happened. But in my head, it was me and 2 people that I never saw before in the dream world. Right. And, so I drew a comic based on that, and I called it Siamese Ninja Heroes, not knowing what the word Siamese meant. You know, as a kid, I probably just thought it was like another, like kind of similar, like Chinese, Japanese, Siamese, right?
Actually, it was originally
my thought process, right?
That's what it was originally. Siam.
Yeah, right. And so when I got involved with the art community, or the comic book community rather, I met this artist Olivia through it all, and I kind of like unofficially pitched it to her. I kind of was just talking about it because I was just reminiscing about that dream or whatever, and I was like, I'd love to have this, made into a comic. And she liked the idea. She started designing some characters, and we did Siamese Ninja Heroes for almost a year together. But then we had kind of had to go our separate ways. She had a lot going on. I had some things going on as well, so. We kind of just broke up the partnership, but I asked her, I was like, hey, is it cool if, because as the writer, you can write 1,000 scripts for every like 1 page of art that's done, right?
Right.
And so I had tons of storylines of scripts of like episodes written out, not just for Siamese Ninja Heroes, but for another comic we were going to do called Animal Age, which became Animal Teens. And then, another one, Super Steak, which I don't talk too much about because I don't have too much going on for that within Earth's Best Friends yet. But another one that was based off something I did as a kid. So these ideas have always been like kind of jumping around in my head. So I took those scripts, I tried to write a book with them. And then, of course, when I released that book, people said this would make a better graphic novel than novel. Same kind of feedback I got with Untitled History, right?
There's a pattern here.
So there it is again, right? So I, you know, but this time I was a little more involved with the comic book community. I met so many artists and writers and stuff, and so I just got a whole bunch of artists in a chat room, and I was like, hey, who wants to help me out? And let's create a team to do this pilot episode of Earth's Best Friends. And so a few people volunteered, and I was paying them. I'm blessed to be in a position where I can actually pay artists now as well. You know, I got a good cushy union job now, so that was 2021, the fall of 2020, and then January 2021, I made the biggest mistake of my life, not knowing how to do a Kickstarter correctly. And I thought, well, I need $10,000. I have 10,000 followers on Twitter. If everybody gives $1, I'll have my funding, right?
Right.
But that doesn't work that way.
Twitter
followers mean nothing.
Likes do not equal dollars.
Yes, exactly. So I made I raised 500 out of 10,000, which, you know, is a failure on Kickstarter. So my next, so I ended up funding book 1, which, and I'll talk about how I'm naming all these things. I'm making it up as I go along, and it's constantly changing, and I'm constantly confusing myself and all my potential fans and followers with everything how I do this. But book 1 came out pretty much 100% funded by me. And then the second time was summer of 2021, which is around the time I was starting to join the madness, at least in the Facebook group. That was my second campaign, and I put my campaign as a $500 campaign this time, because I was like, well, I raised $500 last time, so theoretically I should be able to do it again. And I did. I think I raised more than that. So book 2 came out that year, or that summer, or probably within a month or so after that.
This was 21.
Yeah, 21, summer of 21. I know it's hard to remember what happened. The last 3 years felt like a decade already, you know?
Yeah, this was
kind of a blur. They all
leaning into your family friendly stuff, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then 2022, it was, I think it was February 2022, I did a campaign for book 3, and I had a bigger goal of $1,000, which funded beyond that as well, which was great. And then book 3 became volume 1. So here's where my numerical system gets really screwed up, because everybody got a copy of volume 1 from that campaign, and now I'm doing book 4.
I totally get where you're coming from.
Together, and yeah, and then it gets even more confusing, because I'm not doing graphic novels. I retired volume 1, except for exclusively from my comic campaign. And now I'm splitting what was volume 1 into individual floppies. So now we have Hyper Feline Ninja Heroes #1, Animal Teens #1. So I've just complicated things, and I'm not abiding by the rule of keep it simple, stupid.
Now let me ask you, Michael.
Yeah,
this is your family friendly stuff.
Sure.
My question was, what made you decide to lean into that particular market?
Yeah, it all started when I was in a library with the kids, and I noticed that there were a lot of kids' graphic novels, and I'm like, I wonder if there's a market here, you know. So the first thought was like, maybe it would be easier to market, which I found out it's not. So, you know, with my lack of success with Untitled History of the Human Condition, I was like, maybe
that title one more time.
Untitled History of the Human Condition. I know.
Just let that hang there for a minute, right, boys and girls.
Yeah, I'll have to dig it up and show it off sometime.
Yeah,
that's a part of my history that's so strange. I'll have to show it off. Maybe if I could find some pages of it locked away in my email or even one of my hard drives. I'll have to show it off on my extravaganza on Saturday.
Yes, yes, do. I would love to see some of that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was black and white, so and it was so like I said, it was like it was like the text and the pictures kind of went together, almost like if you were reading a storybook, I guess you could say. Like you flip the pages of the picture and the text, but sometimes the text was actually integrated into the picture, so it's not like it's a picture and then blank space of text, right? It's like more integrated than that. So yeah, it was just like this weird hybrid. So I was just thinking about that, and then of course it was like I've always had these ideas. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Maybe I should. And my kids are getting a little older. They can, and I definitely couldn't really promote Untitled History with my kids, right? And I'm like, you know what? If I made a comic based off my kids, they'd be pretty excited about it. And then when they get school age, maybe they could tell their friends about it, which also doesn't happen, by the way.
Right. That's all it is.
So the original ideas of me getting what kind of led me there have not come true. It's not easier to get into kids' books, and your kids do not promote for you to their friends.
Is actually a super competitive market.
Yeah,
that young adult audience. Holy cow, man!
Yeah,
I don't think I'm brave enough to even try it.
Yeah, I had no idea. I thought maybe it would have been less competitive when I first started. It's like, turns out, I mean, on the indie scene, it's not as obviously if I was trying to go like to Scholastic or something, it would be like, I'd be losing my hair trying to figure out if it's going to sell or not. Yeah.
What is that supposed to mean?
On the indies, it's kind of a little bit of both. It's weird because obviously like you guys' books, right? That stuff is the stuff that kind of sells on the indie market a lot more than a kid-friendly book.
Yeah.
I got to have the TNA or the violence and stuff. So,
did you have concerns? Because I know you have young kids right now.
Oh yeah.
Did you have concerns about your kids seeing Daddy's work?
For Untitled History, yes and no.
If you leaned into, say, the TNA or the gore or whatever.
Oh, if I did, yeah. If I went down that road, I wouldn't be able to be so proud of it in front of my kids for sure.
Because we talked backstage. If my dear departed mother were still living, I couldn't have done Pariah.
Oh yeah.
She would have given me that look, Michael. She would have given me that mom look.
Right.
I couldn't have lived through that, is what I'm saying to you.
Oh yeah.
So my brain just locked up there because
oh yeah,
I still have two aunts living who are my mother's closest siblings.
Sure.
I haven't posted my campaign on Facebook because I'm scared they'll see it. I'll get those from them. So did that factor into your thinking is what I'm after here?
Probably a little bit. Probably not as much because Untitled didn't have too much of it, so I didn't really there was some like politically off things. So one of the covers for Untitled History literally had a swastika on it, but it was because it was based in Nazi Germany, not because it was
right.
But it came out in the worst time. It was 2017. The white supremacists were marching wherever the hell they were at the time, and so people were actually like, dude, I can't associate with this book if you've got swastikas on the cover. Right? It's like, and one of the other covers was a Confederate flag, like because it took place during the Civil War, right? So there were some political things like it about the book that definitely had some iffy things to talk about with the kids for sure.
Right. So we're gonna trying to watch the clock here. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pause for station identification and pay some bills. Want you guys to go warm your coffee up. When we come back, we're going to take a look at Michael's campaign over on, I believe, Kickstarter, right?
Fund My Comic.
Fund My Comic, even better.
Yeah.
Take a look at this campaign over on Fund My Comic. We're going to do great moments, and then we're going to open it up to the chat. So, Pops, play us some commercials and let everybody go refresh your coffee and watch these beautiful trailers.
Bringing you sex, sass, and style. Buckle up and unlock your imagination for a fun adventure with these death-dealing dames. They sail the galaxy in search of spoils. The most dangerous acquisition, and the most fruitful, are the legendary Splinters of Yggdrasil. The Splinters are magical artifacts forged from the Tree of Life that wreak havoc on the universe. The missions are perilous, but the bounty is glorious. Enjoy our hyper-fictional wonderland. How is a pirate ship sailing through space? 'Cause magic. How do they heal so quickly after battle? 'Cause magic. How are they able to communicate through jewelry? 'Cause magic. It's all about the characters. Abo, rough, robotic, ready. Mo, carefree, callous, courageous. Mistress Graven, daring, diplomatic, dominating. Betsy, academic, accountable, aristocratic. Nefara, ancient, assured, adrenaline junkie. Bruto, proud, prominent, protective. Fisty, independent, incendiary, invigorating. Roxy, superficial, scarred, secretive. Once you get to know this diverse crew of mythical miscreants, you'll be anxious to find out what trouble they'll get into on the next episode. Go to abogrizzly.com and order both halves of the first episode today.
And we're back. I will never get past a character named Fisty.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So let's take a moment here and do a little segment we like to call
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Great Moments in Comic History. Today I want to talk a little bit about something that's very near and dear to my heart. I want to talk about Rob Liefeld's Youngblood. #1. Okay. What did Youngblood #1 do? It ushered in the image revolution, which then ushered in the speculative market of the 90s. Who could have predicted that these things would be packaged in collectible things and sold, and people would be lined up around, blocks just to get their copies of these Youngblood comic books, which I do have one signed by Rob there. The second, he even made it to second print. Okay, why is this special? Why is this near and dear to my heart? Okay, this has all the tropes that you like from old comics, from the Avengers, from the Teen Titans, stuff like that. That's what inspired Rob, and Rob put it into his book. So his characters like Die Hard and Shaft and Bedrock up there, they're government agents. One's a kid in a rock body. A lot of them are young upstarts, and they're dealing with fame, and that was the story that revolved around young blood. And then they would change it up, just like the Avengers. He wanted to introduce more characters. This would eventually become Team Young Blood. So there was always revolving characters, and this is Rob Liefeld coming hot off of X-Force, and New Mutants, which introduced Deadpool and other popular characters like that. But Youngblood right there started it all. You wouldn't have Image if it weren't for Youngblood, and Rob teaming up with Malibu Comics and Malibu printing these original Youngblood spawned titles like that.
Yeah. It was it was the age, probably the first time comic book artists and writers were superstars.
Superstars. Oh yeah.
You got Liefeld out there doing Levi's commercials. Come on. Just because he's a comic book creator. How cool was that?
Yeah, with Spike Lee.
Yeah. You don't have to be a fan of Liefeld to appreciate his contribution. And that Image Genesis proved that you could break away from the big two and be successful. And here
Absolutely.
we are today. So this has been another Yay!
All right, there we go.
Michael Gotthi, what in the world are we looking at here?
Yeah, so the format for what they want to use for a banner or whatever is not friendly for your cover. So you can see that got stretched out, but that was the dimensions I had to work with.
Okay, all right. Gotcha.
But that is the cover for Earth's Best Friends #4. There's a better looking one at the end of the video there. That's from my man Gabriel Nissi, which, as I've probably mentioned a bunch of times now, he's MIA. He hasn't got back to me in near 2.5 weeks now.
Oh, no.
Hope he's okay. I've been saying that I don't believe he's disappeared on me for malicious reasons, like taking the money and run. Because that hasn't been his thing the entire year I've known him, because I paid him for many things over the last year I've known him. But whatever the case may be, whether his phone is dead or stolen or something like that, he hasn't been able to get back to me. So I just hope he's all right. But yeah, that's him. Gabriel Nissi did this cover. He drew it. He colored it. He even said it wasn't complete, but honestly, I think these colors are very, very good, very acceptable, even if he feels it's not complete.
Right.
And that's usually the case as artists. It's like you never like the work that you do, it seems like.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael, are you sharing this, or is Pop sharing this?
That's not me, no.
All right, Pops, scroll down just a little bit here. Let's take a look at this video.
Yeah.
Sound.
Oh, should be sound. Oh, there we go. Yes. So, as Luke Stone said, it's a little on the long side, so I apologize for that. I haven't had time to kind of trim it up and mess with it a little bit. Okay, there we go.
Well, I got to say, I like what I see.
Mhm.
The artwork is very lively and fresh looking. I enjoy that.
I like the titles. I
Yes.
get Tween Titans,
Yes.
Animal Teens, and
Yeah.
I have 2 tweens in the house, so.
Oh, perfect, right?
Yeah.
There you go. It'll appeal to them.
Yeah.
Sure. This is the introduction of them. So I should probably explain a little bit of what you saw there, because if you're new to Earth's Best Friends, there was a reference to a comic book that already passed in Volume 1. It was called The Dark Sky, and this is what happened. One of the hyper-feeling ninja heroes, Seely/Sky. Seely's my son, of course, based off my son. He's the youngest of the 4 cats or kids. And he's the youngest in real life, so I kind of based them all off. I made so all right, so I'll go back here. Hyper-feeling ninja heroes, all based off my kids and my nephew and my niece. So there's Fury/Jackson, that's my nephew. Rosie/Chloe, that's my daughter. BB/Lacey, that's my niece, and then Seely/Sky, that's my son. And the ages are kind of like Chloe and Jackson in the comic are twins, because I had no idea how to make them like 2 months apart and be siblings. So I made them twins. And then Lacey and Seely are literally like 9 months apart, which actually is how they are in real life, 9 months apart.
So these guys go to a school.
Sorry, 6 months apart, but 9 months in the comic. What's that?
But these guys go to a school called
S. Lee Elementary School.
S. Lee Elementary.
Yes, so there's S. Lee Elementary, J. Kirby Middle School, and then S. Ditko High.
Yes,
there you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, somebody's a Marvel fan, not me.
And they gain their powers when go.
So they pretty much always have. So the hyper-feeling ninja heroes just have their powers. It'll be revealed why that is eventually. I'll just say it's a little more. There's something divine going on there.
Okay.
So they transform kind of in the way Power Rangers do. Jackson will say his tagline, "Let's get ready for action." Because that's
there you go.
Saturday morning cartoons, right?
Yeah.
So in The Dark Sky, what happens is they're picking on Seely before school, and they're throwing his backpack monkey in the middle style, and he's getting upset. And so he goes up to his room to be upset, and his his stuffed animal, his stuffed sloth, talks to him, and this is straight out of a Powerpuff Girls cartoon that happened to Bubbles. Same thing happens to Bubbles.
I remember that.
You remember that? Yeah. So, and of course, one of the villains, Sergeant Snake, is behind it, which is funny because they don't actually ever find that out. I don't actually put him in the comic besides just like watching everything go on. But anyway, he basically pulls a whole Darth Sidious, come to the dark side, right? Harness that anger kind of thing, right? And so Celia's like, yeah, you know what? I'm angry now. And so he transforms into this dark sky. So it's a completely different like transformation than when he just transforms to Sky. It's got like this dark energy to it. And he just appears in front of his siblings and they're like, what the heck is wrong with you? And he just like, and he throws lightning bolt at them. They're like, what the heck? Are we really doing this? So they transform and he literally just like, whoosh, he like basically just attacks them and it causes them to de-transform. That's how powerful he is in this form. And I build that up that way because when he gets to J. Kirby Middle School, to terrorize it by smashing lockers and pantsing guards.
Right.
Which is what you saw in the trailer. You saw one of the guys with his boxers showing like, how did I get in this situation again? That was actually I did that to a backer. He did the tier where it was like, hey, I'll put you in the comic. So I came up with this idea for him to be a security guard and for Dark Sky to pants him. You know. Nice. So he runs into Super Steak, which is this superhero that I created when I was 13. And he's a little bit, I like to say he's a mix of Deadpool and Superman. Okay. Deadpool because he's constantly looking at the camera and making jokes to the camera or to the audience, right?
Breaking that fourth
camera
wall.
doesn't exist in the comic technically, right?
Yeah.
Some people will say that when they get annoyed when you say camera when you're talking about comics.
Yeah. We know what you mean though.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Know what you mean.
So Super Steak, he's also Superman, right? So he can fly. He's really powerful. So he just like punches Dark Sky once, and the Dark Sky's like, "Ah, what are you made out of 10 tons of lead?" Like, oh my god. He was like, "I thought you could take it." He's like, "Well, I couldn't, man." Right? So like it was just like so I built him up to show, look how powerful he is. He could de-transform his siblings, and then when he meets Super Steak, one punch and he's like, okay, I surrender, right? Just to show how much more powerful Super Steak is, right? And the way I deal with overpowered characters, because when you create a character that's essentially super overpowered, there's nothing that could practically stop them. You have to figure out a way to utilize them without, because then the question will always be, well, why didn't we just get that character to handle everything, right? Well, his thing is he doesn't fight crime. He doesn't do anything but defend the middle school.
There you go.
So he won't go into the street and attack even if there's a monster attacking the city, right? He's not going to do that. Yeah. He's not the Powerpuff Girls.
Right. It's kind of like, with the Power Rangers, no one ever caught on that it was always centered around this high school.
Yeah.
Monsters were happening. The press was just clueless.
Right. Right, exactly. It was
one
town, right?
It's not too far off from the truth. I mean,
Exactly.
All right, so what is the funding goal on your campaign here? You're going live on the 17th.
Yes.
5 days from now.
That's my anniversary. That's awesome. I like that date.
Yeah, it's what is that? Well, the 15th is tax day, but yeah, 17th, it's a Monday. So I just figured, that's what we'll do. So I'm going for a $750 goal, kind of in between my last two campaigns, right? One was for 500, the other was for 1,000. I'm kind of meeting it in the middle because I understand the economy. is not doing so well these days. People are tightening their belts, a lot less expendable income than a couple years ago or even a year ago. So because of that, I'm trying to be realistic, realistic with myself. And, if we make more, absolutely great. And then we fund as well, So that's where I'm at there. And not only that, but I've practically funded this book already. So really what I'm raising the money for would just basically be for copies of the book and to send it out to you, to potentially, if I have backers around the world, to definitely pay for the shipping to go around the world too.
Yeah.
Because that is an arm and a leg for sure.
Yeah, that's a car payment.
Yes, absolutely.
Something I did, for my comics, when dealing with the overseas, population and everything, I cut it in half. Actually, I eat the cost a little bit. Not saying that's what you want to do or anything like that, but just a suggestion, for that, because some of those places, like they got, like I sent a couple, I think it's to France. I sent one to France. I sent one to another country close by, maybe Austria, or the Netherlands. I can't remember which one, but France definitely, they tell, I pay for the shipping and everything. And they're like, yeah, that they're going to have to pay some sort of tax when they get there.
Pick it up.
And I was like, that is insane. Okay. So I try to cut it in half, and make it.
Yeah, on
make
that
it a little
note,
bit more.
to our overseas European friends and our Australian friends, God bless you when you back an American project. Because,
absolutely.
Yeah.
The shipping here is a nightmare, and a lot of you guys are faced with that tax over there also.
Man, I can't believe that.
Most of us are trying to do what we can, to mitigate that, for them.
Exactly.
Yeah, Max knows all about it too.
Yeah.
So we're looking at $750 to get this thing funded. It's going to launch on the 17th. Where are you going to launch, Michael?
I've got my pre-launch extravaganza on my own channels Saturday, and then I'll basically be doing some kind of launch simulcast with Critical Blast. We haven't figured out the exact details of that, but that's what we're pretty much thinking of.
Yeah, we can make that happen, and I know Pops is listening. Absolutely broadcast it on my channel also. Through the network, because that's what we do. We help one another here on the network, and not just broadcasters on the network. By the way, Michael does have a show Saturday morning, Laundry Time.
Yes, laundry live stream.
I love the laundry live stream. By the way, I think that's just outstanding.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So we're gonna
basically just me hanging out, doing laundry, chatting about stuff. And I got to figure out this problem with my connection I've been having lately. For some weird reason, my phone connection's been iffy in places.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, and it happened to me Saturday morning. I basically lost service so much. I tried to fix it, and it looked like it was fixed for a little while, and then it happened again. I had to basically just end the show because it was so bad.
Yeah, you gotta find that one sweet laundromat.
Yeah, right. Like. And the crazy thing is, I didn't have this problem like 2 weeks ago. You know, I would be able to sit in that laundromat parking lot and do the show just fine. And now all of a sudden it's not working anymore. It's weird. And even for the first time ever on my nighttime live stream, I lost service while I was almost before I even started, and then I lost service towards the end of the show when I parked because the whole reason I do the show at night is because I'm driving to work. That's the only reason I could do it. So once I got to work and parked, it was good for 5 minutes, and then the service went out, and I had to get out of my car and walk over to the sidewalk and get my service back. It was really weird.
It is. You're brave to do that mobile in the first place.
Yeah, right. That's true.
But I love that you do that. I think it's a hoot. Get a washer and dryer so you can broadcast from your own laundry room.
Yeah, well, I live in an apartment, so it's not.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Hey, so the name of the campaign over on Fund My Comic is?
Earth's Best Friends Book 4.
Earth's Best Friends Book 4, launching on the 17th, pre-launch this Saturday. Be sure you get over there and show our boy some love.
Yes.
He's a good guy.
1 p.m. For basically anyone in our time zones, but I'm also welcoming folks in later time zones on my morning stream as well that day.
Yeah. And our UK friends and our European friends are always there. We love it when Brianna shows up, and I'm blanking on names right now. I'm sorry. We got Carrie.
Glenn.
Got a lot of UK folks. Got a lot of European.
Rich, is over there.
Now Brianna wants to know: are they excited that they're starring in a comic book?
Yeah, they love it. They definitely do. But like I said, they don't really feel weird when I ask them to tell their friends about it.
Yeah.
They'll wear a shirt that has like Earth's Best Friends on it and like their character on it and stuff, but they don't really want to talk about
Michael,
it.
have you talked to? Have you had the opportunity to talk to Paul Gomez?
Yeah, I had him on my show not too long ago.
Paul has his kids heavily involved in his comic book stuff.
Oh yeah,
and they get a huge kick out of it. Now they're wanting to start writing and doing their own.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, my daughter said she was doing a comic book with her friends for a little while. I don't know if they're continuing that because now they're making a movie with her friends in the backyard or in the with the kids in the apartment complex. But she did tell me at one point she was working on a little comic book with some of her friends in school. So I like to think that I inspired that.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
All right, boys and girls, it is almost wrap time. We're going to drop the link in the chat. Pops, if you want to do that for me, or I can do it, whichever. If you want to come on for a couple of minutes, we got about 10 minutes here. We might run a minute or two longer. I don't want to. Christie Shinn's coming up behind us. I don't want to get all up in her business. But if you want to come on out and.
Christie's show don't start for 40 minutes yet. It's a replay anyway. So, yeah, we got some Ancient Christie for you at 3 o'clock. And then we're going to replay the premiere of Paul's show from way back 7 months ago when he first started. So that he can go out there and critique himself. How he's doing now from when he started, just a little reminder to him of why he does it, and that how many people like what he does.
Yeah, Paul is a really good guy.
So, Michael,
just like Michael is a really good guy. I am just as inclined to back a good person's project as I am to back a good project.
I'm gonna do a little bit of that. A little bit of that sponsorship.
There we go.
Stephen B is backstage. You know the rules, Stephen. You got to be on camera. There he is. There's our boy Max. Welcome, Max.
Stephen B.
Hey guys.
Hey, hold on. Again, messing with the camera here.
Pardon me while I hack up a lung. As you know, Max and I are in a head-to-head race to the grave. Max using his headphones for a beret. Got to. Stephen B., how in the world are you, sir?
I'm doing all right.
It's good to see you.
That's better.
Really?
There we go.
I say it's good to see you and nothing.
You do.
Crickets. Crickets.
Damn.
Max, how the heck are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great, man. Doing great. We're enjoying the new time slot. I'm much happier with this. I'm a little more coffee geeked up than I am in the mornings. I'm all about a slow ease into the day. We get up early. I like to do that so I can ease into the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any adult that's ever awakened to a screaming alarm to race into the shower, get dressed, throw some food down your neck, grab a cup of coffee, and run out the door. You know what a nightmare life that is. So I just got in the habit a long time ago. I'll just get up earlier than the alarm clock and ease into my day.
Now, see, Doc, you kind of cracked me up when you said you're a little bit more fired up at this time of day and whatnot. Because earlier I was going to come out here right at the beginning of the show, but I got caught up in something else. But I was going to come out and say, now, more caffeinated.
That's right. More caffeine, baby.
There it is.
Now, at the same time, Pops has come in and commented, I will occasionally go live when I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah. He drives me nuts.
Yeah, and he's like, what the hell are you doing up this early? That's what time I get up.
It's like I'm trying to go to sleep, and then ding, ding, there's one of them notifications. Fucking Doc.
Hey, Shadowhawk. Good to see you.
How are you?
What's up, Shadow?
Always a pleasure. Stephen B.
Yes, sir.
What you got going on today, man?
I am trying to work on a page to get Rev done.
Working on Rev.
Oh, all right.
One of the hardest working men in comics right there.
And Crimson Legends is now officially on my comic.
Did you go live?
We don't go live until April 23.
All right. I'm going to get you out maybe next Saturday and have you as my guest. I mean, next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
As our guest.
Why don't you go on Steven's show?
It's going to take some getting used to.
Do you want to see
I've been on Steven's.
Yeah, you go on Steven's show on Saturday. That's what you do.
Do you want to see the preview real quick?
No, I don't.
No, you don't? Okay.
I only say that because we're going to wrap up here in just a minute. But, you know, Stephen, I love your stuff. And of course I want to see it. We're going to, we'll stream together for your launch if you want to.
That'd be great.
We'll make it happen. We'll get you out across the network. Pops can manage that. And we'll see if I can get my co-host Tanner there to come out with us.
Oh, absolutely.
And we'll rock some Rev. Or is it Crimson Legends?
It's Crimson Legends.
Okay, Crimson Legends.
Rev is about...
Now, you said the 22nd or the 23rd?
23rd.
23rd is Sunday.
23rd is Sunday?
Yeah, my friend.
Yeah, it's April 23rd at 5:30.
Eastern?
Yes.
Yeah, Eastern. You should be able to do that.
We got from 5 to 7 that's open.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So there you go. Just right after the show offs, you can just kick right off, you know.
All right, Stephen B. Does that work for you? All right, confirmed. Tanner.
Yes.
At 5. Can we do that?
I think yeah. Why not? Why can't we?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's help Stephen B kick off here.
At 5 o'clock, right?
Let's see here. Brianna says, I usually set my alarm an hour and 15 minutes before I've got to be somewhere. But next week, Wednesday, I'm going to do the frantic version because I got to be somewhere. Yeah. We'll get up at 4, Brianna, and then you can ease into it.
See,
backwards planning.
I used to do that. But,
Stephen B, that means the night before during your draw stream, you get to do a pre-launch party.
Yeah.
You gotta do that. Backwards planning.
That's it. That's it. I'd had enough. Now, by the way, that didn't work, Max and Tanner, my military buddies here. When I was stationed in San Diego and I was going to A school, I don't know what you guys call A school in the Army. It's our technical school for your rating, for your MOS.
NRTC, San Diego.
RTC, NTC, San Diego. But that's boot camp. This was at Naval Hospital Balboa. And I lived 5 miles away and I had to walk because I didn't have a car in San Diego. We didn't get out of class. Class starts at 6 sharp and it ends at 6 in the evening. It's 12 hours of class every single day except Sunday. I'm a newlywed. So we're getting busy at the apartment. And I discovered, by the way, you can fall asleep while doing some stuff. I'm just saying.
You can fall asleep doing anything.
Yes.
Walking.
being a man.
You can fall asleep walking.
Yes, while walking. I've done it. I've shared that story. So it wasn't a lot of sleep. And I tried that whole thing of ease into that morning. I'd have to ease into that morning at 7 o'clock the previous evening to ease into that morning because that was a long freaking day. Steven, do you hear what I'm saying to you? Steven, what time do you get up every day?
I try to get up like 5 or 7.
Okay, all right. Well, that's kind of a big jump there, 5 or 7. But, that's cool. That's cool. But Michael works at night. So we're getting ready to do the show, and I'm like, hey, are you coming? He's like, oh, my alarm just went off. I just woke up.
Yeah. I swear I set it for 12:30, but I don't know what happened. So I literally woke up right before I got that message. I was like, oh shoot, yes, I'm in. I will get ready and get right on.
And here's the weird thing, though, boys and girls. This is how you know that I'm running my coffee shop here. I'm retired. I sleep as late as I want to, sleep when I want to, stay awake when I want to. But the old habits don't die. I go to sleep at night, dreaming about the coffee that I'm going to have in the morning. Because it's good stuff. All right. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to play a couple little trailers here. One more time, I'm going to play this one here for you. And wait, where did it go? Yeah, this is the one I want. We're going to play some stuff here to support our friends because we love you. Back in the day, baby. Then we got a little something here. Wait, I forgot something. There we go. Max and I were both headbanging to disco. Heck yeah. By the way, Tanner, I just want to say that big giant woman with the big giant cooch,
Yeah.
she frightens me terribly. Flashbacks to my first wife. Just saying.
Well, that's how I do my villains. Absolutely terrifying.
Horrifying villains. So there's another little book out there I'm kind of fond of. Let's take a quick peek.
Revenge, the sweetest morsel to the mouth that ever was cooked in hell.
Heck yeah. Help me, boys and girls. I'm Shadow Band. Get me out of Indiegogo. Help me get funded.
You're like
there we go again.
You're like a prisoner.
Whoever unsubbed to the channel, oh well.
You're a prisoner of Indie No.
Thanks, Carrie. That's me and my son on the first track. The second track is some old friends of mine, the band Damage, when thrash was still thrash and not metal. Metal was still metal back then. They were a pretty big name, but then the lead singer died and the band fell apart. But in fairness to my boy Troy, who passed away, and he wrote the lyrics, he and Steve Tuggle wrote the lyrics. I can't understand a word he's saying. I don't know what he's saying.
That's it. That's what he did. You guys wrote lyrics, but that's what he said.
Right. I know one part of it says, "Your denial ensures our survival. Bring your legions down around you. Accept the things you cannot change and the darkness that's inside you." Dun 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 dun. But it's good music nevertheless.
Yeah.
Back Electric, back Pariah.
Thank you.
Back Crips and Legends, back Human Hunters and Machine Gun Mary whenever possible, and back Earth's Best Friends. Launching on the 17th. We've got some good stuff coming up, boys and girls.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm going to wrap it up with a closing thought here. Okay, we talked a little bit earlier. It's not politically acceptable to be a Christian. You can worship the spaghetti monster, a turnip, be an atheist, whatever, and that's supposed to be respected. All we're saying as Christians is don't back down. You're entitled to the same acceptance as anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Stand by your guns. Don't get bullied. Tell them to pick one and suck it, because you're going to do what you want to do. Dillard is just now showing up. What's up, Dillard? What's this show about? Well, you missed it, Dillard. We're wrapping up now. But thanks for tuning in, pal. Listen, the world has gone completely crazy. Be a sane island in a storm of chaos. Stand by your virtue. Stand on your integrity. Don't let people push you around. Be cancel proof. be cancel proof.
Heck yeah.
We might talk about that at some point. You know.
How dare you?
Don't let the Gretas of the world tell you what to do.
Yeah.
So,
Her 15 minutes didn't last very long.
No.
Yeah. And she's on a fast track to really ugly too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
not looking good these days. So let's go around the room here. Pardon me while I die. Michael, where can people find you?
Well, I'm on social. I'm on. Excuse me. Geez, all of the social media platforms. You can check me out on my YouTube channel at Earth's Best Entertainment, which is my main channel. Earth's Best Entertainment 2, which is my streaming channel. If you can go to my website www.earthsbestentertainment.com. That's where you'll basically find everything to follow me, as well as my Kickstarter domain name is. My comic domain name is earthsbestkickstarter.com, but it will bring you to a Fund My Comic campaign. And I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All of it's Earth's Best Entertainment except Twitter, which is at Schlogastic Book. It's a long story. I'll get
a
into
link tree. Get a link tree, brother. Get a link tree.
Yeah, and I have my link tree. Exactly. Usually on my website, you can get on my link tree as well.
All right. If you have your link tree, Michael, post it in the chat.
Yeah. Let me get that.
Max, where can people find you, brother?
I am Max. You can find me at atrocitypress.com. It's got all of our social media links. It's got all of our store links. It's got all the news before we release it on social media, at least 2 or 3 days before we release it on social media. So you can check all that out first there. And hey, go back Human Hunters 3. We're only like $300 short of goal.
Yeah, man. And by the way, Pariah moved up a little bit. We're closing in on, I think, right around 700 to be fully funded. So let's get it there.
Make it
in
happen.
the meantime, Tanner Hurley, where in the world can people find you?
Well, you can find me right here, of course. But if you're not here, you can find me at apothicpress.com. You can find me on all the social media sites. I'm out there, Apothic Press. You can't miss me. Or you can find me at Tanner Hurley and talk to me directly.
There you go. By the way, you'll have to interrupt his conversations with the superstars because Tanner does not hesitate to reach out to the Simon Bisleys, to the Rob Liefelds, and say, "Hey, I need you on my project."
It's true.
All right.
You ain't
Stephen
cheating,
B. Where in the world is Stephen?
Right here, and you can find me right here on YouTube under boldcatstudios. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram.
All right, fantastic. And the founder of the feast, where can people find a little fella named Pops Van Zandt?
3rd anniversary of CromCon at the end of the month, guys. We're trying to make it a good show. We're trying to make it a big show. We are kicking it off with the man himself. Chuck Dixon is going to come to the madness and do Ask Chuck Dixon live. So, Tanner, if you have questions for the man,
I do.
Ask him, bro, straight up live. You don't have to email him and hope that he picks your email out to cover on his show. We're going to do his show live. It's going to be freaking awesome. We also have a launch party earlier in the evening before that. So the Friday before CromCon is part of CromCon, this 3-day event this month, So 3-year anniversary, 3-day event. If you want one of them Saturday spots between 1 and 9 p.m. or whatever, between 1 and 6:30. I'm sorry, we got Stephen B. show at 7. Can't be giving away his airtime. Between 1 and 6 or 1 and 6:30 on Saturday, if you want a spot in the 3rd year anniversary of CromCon, you know what to do. Hit Doc up, hit me up. We'll get you a spot. If you want to be involved in Sunday, you jump in the draw stream, you jump in on the show offs. There's only a few, smaller spots, and we're going to try and have a real special final panel. Okay, we're going to try to get everybody out here and really just talk about what we think about the state of comics 3 years after COVID. shut everything.
Right.
Because it is the 3-year anniversary of when COVID shut everything down. All right, so we're going to talk about it a little bit. We're not going to go into the ridiculous part of it, but the comics going forward after going through that.
Yeah. Now, Pops, Dillard.
That's Joe.
Yeah.
That's
Dillard is
Joe.
answering your question, Pops, from that you asked on Twitter about who's in charge of Comicsgate.
that was really, I know all about Comicsgate.
Yeah.
It was a question because there's people out there that are kind of misrepresenting who they are in Comicsgate.
Even Ethan fell for it, though.
Well, I know. It was like, come on, guys, there's some people out there acting like they're running something, and there's rules and a code of conduct, and I was like, nah, ain't none of that. Look, I'm gonna go out on Twitter and you can get it from the horse's mouth. No, ain't none of that. Ain't no group, ain't no membership, ain't
you
no
want to know how to be
treasure.
Comicsgate, you say, I'm Comicsgate. That's it. All right, and I am Doc Blalock. I am the writer and artist of Pariah Blood and Mud, currently funding on Indiegogo. You can find me at Doc Blalock 8404 over on the Twitters. You can find me here on YouTube. It's just Doc Blalock. I'm the only one. Search for it. You'll find me. You'll find me here Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Doc's Coffee Shop. This is the podcast that won't rust, bust, collect dust, kink, stink, turn pink, or rattle at the seams of rainy season for 90 days or your money gladly refunded. All right. With that.
You're welcome, Fanta. I usually try to keep up on top of that stuff when we show a trailer. I do it, but I've been kind of sidetracked and busy today. But thanks for reminding me, so I got it all handled because it's part of my job. Good job.
Fantastic. Love you too, Past Master Dan. I eat conduct for lunch and spit out insurrection. Become ungovernable. Become friggin' uncancelable. Stand up and face it, boys and girls. Listen. Once upon a time, we faced down the little bad man with a mustache in Europe. We faced down the Cold War and beat the Soviet Union. We can beat the woke-tards too. We still got it. We still got it in us. With that, Pops, play us the hell out of here.
Well, what did you leave for me? We got some Christgau, right? We got some Christgau.
Yeah.
We got some mythicals and some Mike Barons.
Yeah, we got some
if
good
you
stuff.
guys know them links, please drop them for me while I'm handling the background. Yo,
there we go. Thanks, everybody. Peace out.
In a world where creatures of myth and legend exist, a covert task force is charged with keeping humanity safe from supernatural threats. And when young Nancy Moon stumbles into the eternal battle between good and evil, she finds... Oh my God, will you shut up? What's happening? Agent Beckett here. Aren't you tired of stuff like that? Want something different? Roll the tape. Whoops. Sorry about that. That's a song I'm writing for my ex. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's more like it. Alrighty. Welcome to the world of the mythicals. We have it all. Monsters. Magic. Government agents. He's the strong silent type. This guy. Ugh, gross, dude. Get some kind of cream or something. Lots of 90s style action. Pew pew pew. And that strong female lead alluded to earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention a dashing field commander with a great sense of fashion. Look at those glasses. South River Studios presents The Mythicals, Issue 1. Buy it, if you dare. Ugh. Will you can it already? How'd you get free? Now beat it before I lose my cool.
So what are you waiting for? Back it today. Like right now.
epicals today.
America's southern border has become a war zone. Human traffickers, drug smugglers, and terrorists flow across the Rio Grande with impunity, secure in the knowledge that no one will stop them. A distant federal government lectures Americans on their privilege while punishing overworked Border Patrol agents who were helpless to stem the tidal wave of invaders and determined migrants. Second-generation Cuban-American Marcos Zamora is a military vet, more patriotic than most Americans. No longer able to ignore the chaos at his doorstep, he acts. Joined by his best friend Gus, they hit the border every night, saving lives while stopping violent drug cartels and other opportunists. The government reacts with fury at Marcos' attempts to preserve American sovereignty, deploying the full might of their enforcement agencies. But Marcos understands that the only thing the rich and powerful fear is bad publicity, and he records every encounter. Whoever he is, this private American must be stopped. Illustrated by Richard Bonk and written by Eisner winner Mike Barron, Private American is his version of Captain America, and maybe a little Punisher, taking part in this ongoing, violent, and very real battle of good versus evil in the war for American sovereignty. Grab your copy at theprivateamerican.com.
We have a secure border, and that is a priority for our administration.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz hands. Jazz hands are great.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month,